Yes, thank you. So thanks for your time as ever. I guess just to start off with Kevin Pearson's fitness, is there any update and how do you rate his chances of playing tomorrow?
Yeah, pretty good. He has gone through training the last 2 days and done everything we've asked of him. Yeah, clearly we have to make that decision tomorrow morning, in case he pulls up different to that. But we will see, and yeah, we're pretty hopeful.
Yeah, it looked like business as usual for him, and he went through separate sprint work. He looks to be okay. I mean, are you fairly optimistic that he will be okay?
Yeah, obviously, as I said, we don't know quite how he pulls up from today's training, but he's worked incredibly hard with the medical team over this last week to get himself right. So fingers crossed he has.
Obviously, you're in a good comfort zone now as far as the series is concerned. How do you describe the approach and the mindset as you obviously look to wrap things up here at Old Trafford?
Yeah, we've got an opportunity to do that. I wouldn't call it a comfort zone. We've put ourselves in a good position in the series, but in those 2 games we've had to work very hard throughout those 10 days of cricket, and it won't change in this Test match. How hard they are to get a Test match win. We've put ourselves in a good position, but that counts to nothing going into tomorrow's play.
And it's the first Ashes Test match here since 2005, so it'll be a new experience for many. What are you expecting from the conditions here?
Normally it's obviously a good cricket wicket here. Since they've changed the square round, you might have lost a little bit of that Old Trafford pace that it used to be here. But it's a great place to play cricket. Obviously that with the new development as well, I think it's looking really nice. And we normally get great support here, and hopefully we can back that up.
Alistair, obviously with or without Kevin Pearson, the England team's quite different, isn't he? Whether he's in or whether he's not. Do you go down the road of asking people to sort of adapt their games if he's not playing, because he's a player who can take the game away from them?
Yeah, I think Kev's a bit of a one-off that he can do that. He has the ability to win games of cricket very quickly on his own. Like I think that 100 in Mumbai sums up. Not many people could have played innings like that in those conditions. But the very you've got to be very strong on yourselves that you can't play like someone else. You're not whoever just because KP doesn't play a Test match or a one-day game, you can't ask people to bat like him. They're picked on their strengths, and they're picked on that's the way they play to score the runs to get picked. So you can't adjust like that.
Alistair, considering Kevin's ability to change games, just as you said, is it tempting from your point of view to take a bit of more of a risk in playing him when he's perhaps not 100% that he wouldn't do with just a run-of-the-mill England?
No, I think we'll behave everyone exactly the same. We can't. It's a tough game to go in if you're not 100% fit, and it doesn't matter who you are. You have to be there or thereabouts, because if it flares up, you leave the team in a disadvantage. So it's hard enough to win with 11 players, let alone 10. One's not fit, so you're either fit or you're not. It doesn't matter who you are.
Are you expecting anything radically different from Australia in this match? Alistair, I mean, David Warner will probably play, I guess. Has that changed their dynamic from your point of view to make them more of a fearsome team?
Well, they're a dangerous side. Trent Bridge was an extremely close game. That was only 2 games ago. We obviously played pretty well at Lords, and it was a big victory. But it's been a very tough series for us. It's obviously playing Ashes as well. It's obviously different to any other series you play. So we're expecting a very tough battle, and it doesn't matter which 11 we play against. They're full of very good players, and it's going to be tough.
The introduction of Chris Tremlett back into the squad, Alistair, how encouraging is that for you to have his height, his bounce and ability back in the side, back in the squad?
Well, yeah, it's great for us as a squad that he's back. He's been unlucky with injuries since I think his last Test match was Abu Dhabi, I think it was, and he hasn't played since then. He's worked incredibly hard. He's been unlucky, and he's worked hard again to get back to fitness. And this year with Surrey, I think he's bowled something like 300 overs, and it's just great for competition for places. When a player of his quality is back in the mix, it gives you another dimension to the team. So yeah, we are very lucky that he's back, and it's great for our bowling ranks.
As captain, obviously in the first Ashes series, have you sort of absorbed the first couple of tests, and was the break come at a good time, I guess, to regather your thoughts?
Yeah, it is different, and no matter how many times people tell you that before the series, until you experience yourself, you know, every session it seems like it's more important. You have to win this session. I don't know whether it's just because it's against Australia and it's the Ashes that you feel like that, but you know, you talk to a few captains before, and they just look in. There's a knowing look in your eye. But you had to, I think, you had to be through that, go through that experience, and you know, come out the other end, and I think you're better for it.
You had to warn the team not to get too far ahead of themselves, Alistair?
No.
In that the Ashes are on the line.
No, I think it's you know, we've certainly spoken about it, but one of the strengths we do as a side is trying to break it down to as smaller things as we can, so 1 hour at a time. You know, not looking too far ahead. You know, when you do, you end up you can cause yourself some trouble. So, you know, it's making sure that we try and get that first hour right tomorrow, whether we're bowling or batting.
Alistair, the last Ashes test here turned out to be a very famous one. Can you remember what you were up to back then?
I was playing for Essex at the time. I don't know. I remember the Edgbaston one more, as in I think we were at Southend, or I think that's right, playing against Middlesex in a one-day game. I could be proved totally wrong, but I think that was. I can't quite remember what was.
So you didn't get to see this one on telly, or?
I might have been, but my memory's terrible. So that was 8 years ago. So I couldn't tell you.
Alistair, how much is 5-0 a burning ambition for you and the players?
It's very dangerous to start thinking like that, as we've already said. You know, in previous things, we are a very good side when we take games one step at a time, and that's the only thing we can concentrate on is this Old Trafford Test match, not what's gone before and not what's going to come. It's all about getting ourselves right and ready for the battle ahead, and that's the only thing that's important.
Alistair, are you aware of the pressure that you're loading onto Michael Clarke's captaincy, and is it a case of sort of rather him than me? Rather him than me?
Well, certainly it's better being 2-0 up than 2-0 down. Look, to be honest, I don't know about that, to be honest with you. I worry about what I do and I worry about how our team operates.